Shalom, giving honor and praise to the Creator and the Maker of heaven and earth. We're going to start book of Isaiah chapter 49 and verse 7. And it reads as follows. Thus saith the Lord, the Redeemer of Israel, and his Holy One, to him whom men despiseth, to him whom the nation abhorreth, to a servant of rulers, kings shall see and arise, princes also shall worship, because of the Lord that is faithful, and the Holy One of Israel, and he shall choose thee. So I wanted to sit there and go over this particular part right here. And there's a couple of points to be made concerning this. Brothers and sisters, if we go into the book of Isaiah chapter 44 verse 1, so we can gain an understanding. Yet now hear, O Jacob my servant, and Israel whom I have chosen. So we have to understand, brothers and sisters, that who was the chosen was the nation of Israel, right? And then goes on to say, thus saith the Lord that made thee, speaking about Israel, and formed thee from the womb, who will help thee. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant, and thou, Yeshurun, whom I have chosen. Now we go to, brothers and sisters, to the book of Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 1. And it says, but now thus saith Yah that created thee, O Jacob, and he that formed thee, O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by thy name, thou art mine. So one of the things to let it be known and understood is the relationship that the Most High has with the children of Israel. And it's a very intimate relationship, to the point where in the book of Isaiah, the Most High called Israel his wife, who he has married. Now, marry in Hebrew is the Hebrew word nasa, and that means to marry, to carry, or to take, or to lift. So we as the nation of Israel was taken by the Most High. And as we know, brothers and sisters, that the Most High is, as he stated about himself in Exodus 20, El Quana, a jealous God. This is why we don't call upon any other God outside of the Most High, Yah Zebaot. You understand? Okay, now, getting back, brothers and sisters, into Isaiah chapter 49, verse 7. It says, thus saith Yah, the Redeemer of Israel, and his Holy One, to him whom men despiseth, to him whom the nation abhorreth. So we already read in Isaiah chapter 43 and 44, who is the Redeemer, that being the Most High. Who redeemed Israel? It is the Most High. All right, so this is talking about a relationship between the Most High and the nation of Israel. Thus saith Yah, the Redeemer of Israel, and his Holy One, to him whom men despiseth. Who is despised? The nation of Israel is despised. When you go to Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1, it gets into that particular aspect, if we will. Brothers and sisters, let's go there. Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. It says, gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired. The reason why we're not desired is because we are despised. Brothers and sisters, when you go to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and it says, you shall be a horror to all the kingdoms of the earth. When you go into the book of Numbers, chapter 20 and chapter 21, when you go and you see about Edom not letting Israel pass through, Moab trying to bring drama to the nation of Israel, Israel is the nation that is not desired. Israel is the nation that is despised. Now, getting back into verse 7 of Isaiah 49. Thus saith Yah, the Redeemer of Israel, and his Holy One. Now, I wanted to sit there and make a point, so that way we can gain some understanding. All right, Isaiah chapter 49, verse 7. In the Hebrew, it reads as follows. Kol Amar Yah, Go El Yisrael Quedosho. Libzo Nefesh, Lim Ta'eb Goy. Le'ebed Moshlim, Melakim Yir'u Wakwamu, Sarim Wayishtakawu, Lama'an Yodhewahe Ashel Ne'eman, Quedos Yisrael, Wayib Kareka. Now, brothers and sisters, let it be known and understood that in the average regular standard Bibles, as well as in the King James versions and so forth and so on, they have it reading as saying, as we read here, thus saith the Lord, the Redeemer of Israel, comma, and his Holy One. But if you notice very carefully, the word and both times in Isaiah 49 verse 7 is in italics. The reason why it's in italics is because that's a part that whoever did it with the King James and so forth and so on added or inserted that in there. That's not in the original Hebrew text. Okay, so let's go over this so we can gain an understanding of what's being said. Okay, Isaiah chapter 49 verse 7 in the Hebrew says this. Kol Amar Yah, thus saith the Most High, Go El Yisrael, the Redeemer of Israel, Quedosho, his Holy One. The Kuf, the Dalit, and the Sheen is the root, meaning to be holy or to be separated or to be sanctified. So this is what it's talking about right here. The Most High is the Holy One of Israel. The regular King James and other Bibles, unfortunately, have it read to where when you look at it, it says, thus saith the Lord, the Redeemer of Israel and his Holy One. So that way you have some brothers and sisters who may think that there is a distinct difference between the Most High and his Holy One. But it's not saying that. And we can sit there and show reference with that within the scriptures. Okay, now let's go to show that, brothers and sisters. Let's go, if you will, to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 25, verse 30. If you will, Jeremiah, the 25th chapter. We're going to start in verse 30 so we can gain some understanding concerning this kind of matter right here. Mind you, Jeremiah was 60 years or so after Isaiah. And it says the following. 25 verse 30. Therefore prophesy thou against them all these words, and say unto them, the Most High shall roar from on high, and utter his voice from his holy mountain. He shall mightily stir up his habitation. He shall give a shout as they that tread the grapes against all the inhabitants of the earth. So if we will, remember that part right there. It says from his holy habitation, right? Let's go from there to Psalms chapter 5, verse 7, so we can gain an understanding of what's being presented. We are in the book of Psalms, the Tehillim, chapter 5, verse 7, and we read as follows. But as for me, I will come into thy house in the multitude of thy mercy, in the fear, and in thy fear will I worship toward thy holy temple. So it's speaking in reference about the Most High, his habitation being holy, his mountain being holy. Let's go, if you will, to the book of Exodus chapter 5, verse 3, so we can gain some understanding concerning this matter. Exodus, the 5th chapter, we're going to start in verse 3. So that way we can gain an understanding that the Holy One is the Most High. All right, so there would be no misunderstanding concerning that. It says what? Sorry, we are in Exodus chapter 3, verse 5. Exodus chapter 3, verse 5, not 5, verse 3. And it says, and he said, draw not nigh hither, put off thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place whereupon thou standest is holy ground. So anything in reference with the Most High is going to be holy. That's where it boils down to right there. And since Isaiah chapter 49, verse 7, whereas it unfortunately has in many versions in many Bibles where it says, and his Holy One, to actually make some people think that there's one that is the Holy One besides the Most High is emphatically incorrect. If you look very carefully, you will see that the word and is inside of italics, because the author inside of most Bibles realizes that the Hebrew text and what we see also in certain versions is not exactly saying the same thing. See, let's go over this once more time. This is the regular standard King James Version. It says, thus saith the Lord, the Redeemer of Israel, and his Holy One. And if you notice very carefully, the word and, brothers and sisters, is inside of italics, because they are inserting or putting that word there that, brothers and sisters, was not there within the original text of the Hebrew, as we have already shown. So now, if we will, brothers and sisters, we can go into the book of 2 Kings, chapter 22, verse 19. We are in 2 Kings 22, verse 19, so we can gain some understanding concerning this kind of matter. And it reads as follows. 2 Kings 22, 19. Because thine heart was tender, and hast humbled thyself before the Most High, when thou heardest what I spoke against this place, and against the inhabitants thereof, that thou shouldest become a desolation and a curse, and hast rent thy clothes and wept before me. I also have heard thee, saith the Most High. This right here is talking about the humility that one of the kings showed, and that the Most High in his favor, and what he allowed that king exactly to sit there and have. So one of the things to sit there and let it be known, brothers and sisters, is that I read that for a reason. Now, let's go to 2 Kings chapter 19, verse 22. It says this: whom thou hast reproached and blasphemed, and against whom thou hast exalted thy voice, and lifted up thine eyes on high, even against the Holy One of Israel. So this right here lets it be noted and understood that even when you read the word even in here, that's in italics, because that is an assertion that's made by the person. That's why getting to the Hebrew is important. It says, whom thou hast reproached and blasphemed, and against whom thou hast exalted thy voice, and lifted up thine eyes on high, even against the Holy One of Israel. So who is the Holy One of Israel? It is the Most High. Yah Zebaot is the Holy One of Israel. So let that be noted and understood. Brothers and sisters, if we go into another reference, let's go into the book of Hosea, if we will. Hosea chapter 9, verse 11. So we can gain some understanding concerning this kind of matter. Pardon me. Hosea 11, verse 9, and it reads as follows: I will not execute the fierceness of my anger. I will not return to destroy Ephraim, for I am Elohim and not man, the Holy One in the midst of thee, and I will not enter into the city. So what this part right here is saying, the Most High is speaking about his mercy. That's why I had it read, or that is to say, I read myself, the part that we read of in the book of Kings, chapter 22, verse 19. Because to be humble before the Holy One, as you read in Psalms about being in humble before his holy temple and so forth and so on. That's the point in reading these particular parts right there. So now when we get into Hosea chapter 11, verse 9, the Most High is showing you that he is the Holy One in the midst of Israel. So let that be known and understood. So with that, I say thank you for the time, shalom, and open to constructive criticism.